Every day for more than 2 months, they came and they went. On trial, accused of the most grotesque crimes. Paedophiles who orchestrated regular nights to rape children.
These demons drag me down.
The levels of depravity shown in this case are extremely rare in Scotland, and the courage of the victims was essential in securing this conviction.
These demons drag me down.
I just recently heard about this mind-blowing case in Glasgow, Scotland. I mean, it's one of those moments where you're going to say, shut your pie hole, Holly, because that absolutely can't be true. This case involves the witches and wizards pedo ring in their house that is known as the BEASTIE house. Now, stay in my murder she shed so I can tell you about this mind-blowing case. My name is Holly, and I tell cases right in my she shed that are rarely discussed on any other channel. So if you'd like to join us, just make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can find me in this big YouTube world. A girl can get lost in here. If you don't mind a southern accent, make sure you join us. Usually here at least twice weekly. But before we begin, I need to tell you this case is very disturbing and involves essays of young children and discussions of death to animals, although I don't go into graphic, gory details. But still, I'm going to say viewer discretion is strongly advised. And if this may trigger you, you probably shouldn't watch it. I was essayed by my neighbor when I was about 6 or 7 years old, so I know some cases can trigger people more than other cases. And this one is pretty bad. I'm going to leave it there. When we think of Scotland, we think of beautiful green rolling hills, clear sparkling water, majestic castles, and perhaps a few magical creatures such as fairies and elves. But what we don't think of is a witches and wizards pedo ring. But lo and behold, here we are discussing just that. Scotland. I'm sorry I have to discuss this. If you're from Scotland, you may already know this case, because I guess it's pretty big news in Scotland. In a quiet suburb of Glasgow, in a run-of-the-mill house, lies a dark secret. It was a drug den filled with some very vile monsters. Random people could be seen coming and going at all times of the day and night. At this depraved home, primary school-age children were plied with alcohol and drugs while being subject to a campaign of sexual depravity, including group rapes. Yes, children getting group raped. I already know I'm going to be demonetized, so we'll just call it what it is. The drug-infested den was described as squalid, littered with drug paraphernalia, and a breeding ground for neglect. It was dirty with black trash bags piled on the sofa and nicotine stains on the blinds, and a urine stench filled the air. Inside the home was 3 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. It does not say any details of the children besides gender, but I believe their parents are some of the perpetrators in this crime. The children, some forced to consume substances, were witnesses to the adults' relentless addiction. The horrendous ordeals only emerged after the brave, abused children revealed what they had suffered. To a couple they actually got to know, and this couple went to the police. The man that the child had confessed to was actually an ex-cop and said he had got to know the children through his work in church and often saw them with his wife. This couple had agreed to help the drug-addicted parents of the children out until they could get help with their addictions. So the couple became close with the children and watched them occasionally. And so the children began opening up to the couple. The ex-cop said that one of the children told him, "I didn't like it when all the witches pointed their wands at me." And you would think, that's a weird statement. Why did this child say this? Which is exactly what he thought. So he asked, what in the world are you talking about? Well, maybe not in those words, but he asked him. He just asked the child, "What's happening in your home?" And the child began to open up. The ex-cop was told some very disturbing stories, described as dirty with rotten teeth and a constant hunger in their eyes. The children endured abuse that was worse than any nightmare. One in particular suffered from chronic severe head lice, described as the worst a child professional had ever seen in her near 40-year career. Between 2012-2020, drug addicts organized regular gatherings to carry out brutal violence on children, including one child as young as 1 year old. 11 adults were arrested and was involved in this cult/ring. I don't even know what you want to call it. It was just strange. But only 7 were charged with SA of the children. They are Ian Owens, Elaine Lannery, Leslie Williams, Paul Brandon, Scott Forbes, Barry Watson, and John Clark. They were all found guilty of rape and SA. 4 of those adults were also found guilty of attempted murder. An 8th member of the group, Marianne Gallagher, was convicted of assaulting a child who said they were punched, kicked, and had a plastic bag pulled over their head, but cleared of all the other charges. A further 3 was accused. Mark Carr, Richard Gackigan, and Leona Lang were acquitted of all the counts, though. All these adults were between 30 and 50 years of age, and they convinced these children that they were witches and wizards, and that they could do magic spells, and they had the children believe in all kinds of strange things. They even convinced the children that they had the ability to turn them into dogs and cats with their magic wands. One man in the group wore a red devil mask in order to scare the children into believing he was a wizard. There were said to have been rape nights, dance and sex nights, as well as dog killing nights held within the property. The children were allegedly made to stab the dogs. The adults supposedly also stabbed the dogs. Although during trial they were not able to prove any dogs were involved because they couldn't find any blood in the building I guess they supposedly did this in. But I wouldn't think they'd done this in a building. Seems like this would be something they do outside somewhere, maybe in the woods. I don't know. But anyway, they couldn't find proof that the dogs were actually killed, although the children said that they were made to stab these animals. It was also alleged that a Ouija board was used to call on spirits and demons, causing the children to believe that they could see, hear, and communicate with spirits and demons. They were made to wear a horned mask during these seances. The boy claimed he was aged between 7 and 9 years of age when using the board. He added that the group and the demons sometimes spoke in English, but also in different languages. The boy recalled the group wearing cloaks down to their knees. The boy stated that he and the wizards lined up and cast a spell on a young girl aged around 2 or 3 to turn her into a wolf cub. Yeah, I know. Weird, huh, Simon? Very weird. Didn't I tell you this one was hard to comprehend? Very strange case. 5 of the adults made one child dress in lingerie and dance in a sexualized manner on various occasions between 2018 and 2019 before they were then raped by male members of the group. Instead of intervening to protect the youngsters, the women clapped, cheered, and encouraged the abuse, with some actually filming the attack. I don't get it, guys. How can a woman, especially if that's your own child, stand by and be like, promoting this, clapping about this? This is a mind-blowing case, I told y'all. It's almost too weird to even be believable, but there are weird, sick people out there. Older children were forced to abuse a younger child during prolonged attacks, referring to this in court as child rape nights. Children were also forced to repeatedly essay each other with household items. The victim said money was exchanged after the sex attack as all the offenders laughed. People would come and go. There would be different people coming in and paying to be with the children. They had a tripod set up, so I'm assuming they were filming this, maybe putting it online. I don't know, just all kinds of sick things going on in this house. One of these little girls was restrained and abused by members of the ring in a disgusting room until she actually was injured and unconscious, all while it was being recorded on camera. One child was said to have been made to operate a camera and create video footage of some of the abuse. One of the little girls was actually put in the oven, and they also describe it as a microwave, so it may have been a microwave. And it's saying that it's when she was really small. It doesn't specify if it was turned on or if she's just put in there and made to stay. But either way, the older children were able to get her out of the oven. The child was also padlocked in a fridge, and the older children said they adjusted the temperature of the fridge before the child even was put in it, so it was not too cold, as this happened so often. A little girl says she was locked in a dark cupboard and feared she would never be let out. This was how the house became known as the Beastie house to the children, because they felt there were beasties in that dark cupboard. So I guess this happened often too. They said there was spiders in there and it was scary and dark, and she wasn't sure she was going to win or if she's going to be let out. So for some reason this made them start calling the house the Beastie house. So these poor children were terrified all the time to go through stuff like this and actually name their house the Beastie house, because there was so many evil beasts living in that house, monsters. One girl was forced to eat dog food out of dog bowls, just like dogs do. She could not use her hands to eat and was made to bark and act like a dog. One of the young boys was made to stab a parakeet so he could be initiated and become a wizard himself. The young boy admits he still has nightmares about killing that little parakeet to this day. After he killed the parakeet, he was then given a magic wand, which he describes as being just a wooden stick. The boy said that everyone would be made to gather in a circle, drink blood, and to eat a heart. The young boy said people would pass the heart around and have a bite and pass it on to the next person. He said that's when I took it and I had a bite of the heart and took blood. He stated that the blood was in a special wine glass with a special rim. The boy also said that he was age 6 or 7 when he was put into a bath of blood. He stated that the blood was dark red and his whole body was in the bath, and he felt as if the adults were trying to drown him. Another child claimed they were hung by their clothing that was nailed to the wall. The awful recordings of the children and the police interview of the children was so rough for the jury to get through that the judge actually set them up with a counselor after the trial, and they were told they were excused from jury duty for life. In fact, the evidence was so horrible that most of it was actually withheld from the public. The adults have not been sentenced yet, but they claim the children are lying and that they are completely innocent. And the last thing I could find on it, it was in January 2024, and they said that the judge was expecting to give them life. Anyway, we love y'all and hope y'all have a blessed week. Bye. Okay. Let's go. Simon and Max, won't you come into our new house we built after the tornado ran our old one? This is the rebuild. In fact, the living room's a lot like the old living room, only just a little bigger. Yeah. I don't know why we went bigger when that's one of my paintings, when we don't have kids that live at home anymore. This is my pantry, which I never had a pantry, so I really like it. This is my little bathroom. Sorry, I should have put down the toilet. This is my new countertops, which I love the granite we picked out. It's so cool. And our stove. Our back porch, which is muddy now because it's been raining, thanks to my dogs, well, and my husband. This is our new back porch. See our murder she shed from here. One of my chairs is over there. I'm going to rock my grandbaby right there. Well, and the table I built, me and my brother built this table together. Yep, we sure did. And I built this driftwood chair out here. It's actually pretty cool. It's like an egg chair. You can see it. It's pretty cool. Like I said, we don't have any grass yet, so just ignore all the mud. Me and my husband built the stairs together in my mud room, and Simon's upset because I stuck his toys up, because in the evening he doesn't like to rest. He still wants to play, and he thinks they're in there, but they're actually up here on my dad's china cabinet he built. Where are your toys? Do you not know where they are? I bet you do. And this is the bedroom, which I've not completed. I'm still working on it. But we did get our mattress in yesterday, our new mattress. And I got my windmill fan just a couple of days ago. I am so in love with, it's a real windmill that was turned into a fan. And I love it. Anyway, yeah, I'm not decorated, so. And my murder she shed, I can see right out my bedroom window along with all the mud because we don't have any grass. And this is my favorite room. Oh, yes, it is. I love my master bath. This is a little vanity mirror. I actually got that in the antique store. And then my favorite thing I have in the house, right here. I've always wanted one of these tubs. I finally got one. And the painting I made to go with my tub. It matches my tub. I thought, that tub needs a painting. Why does it ever? Doesn't it, son? And my barn doors. And my shower. Yep. Say, thank you for joining us in a tour of our home. I'm glad you could join us. Come again soon. We're just glad to not be dead in a tornado, aren't we, boys?
To hide, I tried